certain people can walk into a bar and, every single time they'll be sitting next to the meanest son of a bitch in the bar. It's just, but there's like this heightened excitement around it. There's an interplay and, abuse and bullying and all that stuff. We start to imprint for it. And then the longer you practice it, the more you know that interaction and play. And that happens on dramatic levels, but on extremely subtle levels. I mean, even, attraction in relationships it can be very subtle for different roles. And the more we've been imprinted for certain roles in childhood, and that's why mother and father, oh, I'm dating my mother. Oh, I'm dating my father. It's like, because I'm imprinted and I know how to play that role. And so, attraction is really, really interesting that way. And, I've certainly learned that, that if I'm feeling like super attracted is probably good to walk the other way, because I can walk into a room and get turned on by crazy. And I've done that a few times. I've done it enough, maybe quite a few. I have different imprints, but crazy can work for me. And it's kind of like Ariadna. I like the drama of it all, and change and intensity and all that kind of stuff. But now I've learned to be interested in the second most attractive person in the room. Or the third, just depends on how big the room is. Or maybe somebody I'm mildly attracted to. It just makes things easier. But, the higher the level of intensity of attraction is, the more you can be sure that you're dropping into a pretty strongly rooted, pattern. And I can't hear you, Alicia. I see you talking, but I can't hear you. You want to say what you want to say?
I'm just saying wow over and over again, because that's really true. Like, I have learned that in my own life too. So I've never been able to quite verbalize what you're saying, but wow. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just crazy dynamic. We're doing this all the time with these subtle understandings, subtle expectations about what we gravitate to. And, the more we clean that up, the more we loosen it up, it's again, like, it ties into what we're talking about is pulling for something, so if I want to pull for intensity, and I just want more intensity, then it's easy to pick, somebody that's a little off the rails, because it's going to be a lot of intensity. Yeah.
Kyle, can you help me with mine?
Yeah. Well, what do you notice? Like, in your attractions, what do you notice?
Oh my gosh, I love everything that you're saying, because I relate so much. I totally have, I've joked about it for years that I have the Sandy complex from Greece, but it's true. So
musical theater is not my specialty. You might have
okay, so just the bad boy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many other women can relate to this one, so this might be a good one for other people too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really, most women like that. And, there's also a deeper biological component of that. So that one in particular is deeper than just, my own personal experience. But the reason why a bad boy, even if we go back to monkeys or lions, is the bad boy is going to be able to defend and protect me.
Totally.
Because they don't really, they're not afraid. They're gonna,
like an alpha male thing.
Yeah, it is a alpha characteristic, and so it's attractive. And unfortunately, it comes along with a lot of entitlement, and then also can be not as respectful and all those kind of things. So if you're going for alpha, if that's what you want, it's good to find the highest level of consciousness of alpha.
Yeah.
Somebody that's, like certain like I was in, I think it was called Alpha Males or something like that. I was in a group in LA for a little while, and it I wasn't interested. Like we did kickboxing together, and it was like who could be the meanest and kick the shit out of everybody and all that kind of stuff. I was like, hey, let's just hug it out, man. Like, let's just go be mean to each other and see who's the toughest. It's not that interesting, you know. But you know, if you like that, you know, if that's the kind of person you want to be, finding somebody that's really refined in it, and so they tend to be, you know, as it goes up in consciousness, a little more proud, a little more, a lot of self-control, a lot of self-management, a lot of refinement around that. It's kind of like, you know, I mean, the top you think of like a Navy SEAL, or you think of, you know, a martial arts master, or somebody that's really dialed in. But they also tend to be a little stuffy, as far as I'm concerned. I like to have more fun than that, personally. I tried it on. It's like not that interesting. I have to have all that self-control.
But I don't want to have that knee-jerk response anymore.
I don't think the knee-jerk response is going away.
No, because of the biological thing you said.
Yeah. I mean, it's very strong. Now, like you can start to switch it. So this is one of my favorite off-colored jokes that I've made. But you know, I teach, and when I'm in a room and teaching, I get very attractive, and I say, you know, women will always go for the man in the room with the biggest purpose. And you know, so somebody with a big purpose is attractive. So you know, that's like David Data talks a lot about this. Is, you know, he says, you know, one of the ways to get attractive, you know, to women and to turn on the feminine and have the feminine feel safe is not, you don't necessarily have to be the alpha, but it's like that your life purpose is bigger than your interest in a woman. And so a woman doesn't really, on one hand, wants to be the focus of a man's full attention. And on the other hand, if she's the focus of his full attention, is that it's a little disappointing, because in the masculine feminine dynamic, and it could be man or woman, it doesn't matter, it's just the dynamic of that, is the masculine tends to hold you know, when you get closer, the masculine tends to hold the purpose, while the feminine holds the meaning. And so purpose is like, where are we going? The walls of the container, holding the container, good idea of where we're going. And, you know, the application to get there. And then the feminine is, let's enjoy the experience, let's find meaning, connection, love, those kind of things. So when you put them together, it's, you know, the classic metaphor is like a hose. Is the masculine is the hose and the feminine is the water. Without the masculine container, the feminine just flows all over. It has no place to go. And without the feminine, the hose has no reason to be there. It's just, it can't do anything. So in the interaction, the masculine holds, you know, the purpose for our relationship. Like for me, it's like doing my work is the purpose, right? It's like to expand consciousness, to you know, recognize levels of consciousness and help people grow. And then, you know, a feminine partner would be like, wow, I really love being associated with that, and I'll remind you of things that are important. And so you're not all, you know, so, and, you know, to enjoy the ride and to, you know, enjoy life and to all those things. And so that's where that kind of natural balance, a single person would hold both of the, you know, is required to hold both of them, both of those aspects. It's actually the polarization of masculine and feminine that creates attraction. Mm-hmm. If I'm holding all my masculine and feminine, meaning purpose and meaning, and you're holding purpose and meaning, there's lots of room for friendship, but it's the polarity, like in a battery, that creates the electrical charge, and the energy in it is the polarity. So that's another reason, you know, the bad boy, and then I'll be the good person, and it's like the charge, you know, and I'll be tempted out, creates the charge, the polarity. So, you know, finding somebody that's exactly like you creates the more like you they are, the more friendship, and the more polarized creates turn on and electricity and all those kind of things. And there's not a right spot. I mean, some primary relationships are just great friendships, but then there doesn't tend to be a lot of sexual energy and turn on. Sexual energy comes from the polarities.